Welcome to On the Money with Secure Money. I'm your host, Rebecca Powers. Always happy to be here, and I learned so much from Brian Quaranta and Neil Major. You have the hardest name to say.
I do.
I'm sorry. I feel like you said I do it pretty well.
Don't worry,
right?
It's been butchered all my life. Yeah, you do well. You do well.
You have to use the Italian accent, right?
Yeah.
And then it sounds better. Yeah. Okay, so we had a question from one of our viewers about sequence of returns risk.
Wow, that's
Never even heard of it.
That is a good one. So, when you think about the market, right? Technically, have you lost anything if you haven't pulled any money out? Technically, it's just a paper loss. But here's the challenge for folks. Most people that are in retirement, they need that money. The pensions are gone, right? So they have to pull the money out. So what sequence of returns risk is when you're pulling money out and the portfolio is going down, well, you're locking in and compounding that loss. So the sequence matters, meaning when you retire, how the market does is going to influence the success of your retirement. And so if you see those negative years early on, that can be very, very damaging to your portfolio, where you potentially run out of money much, much sooner than you anticipated. So it's probably the number one risk that retirees are facing today. You know, if you think about the past 12 years, the market has gone straight up. We were what we could say at the peak of the market. Now all of a sudden we're seeing volatility.
Right.
So are those people that retired in 2021, are they at risk of running out of money because the sequence of returns was not favorable? I remember watching a 60 Minutes episode with you, a little clip that we used to have in our office. And remember that clip? It was about people that retired in 1999, 2007. Right. And they were back looking for jobs a couple years later.
Because 2008 was such a big hit, right?
Yes, because
they experienced 99, and then they experienced 7 and 8, and so a lot of people couldn't afford to stay in retirement. And really what we're talking about here is probability of success, right? And when you look at building a plan around probability of success, you also look to try to remove as much risk as possible. And sequence risk is a mathematical risk that shows up when withdrawals are made from the portfolio. It doesn't show up when you're just growing the money, because it really doesn't matter, because you're not doing any further damage by pulling money out, right? It's the pulling of the money out as income that causes the problem. But in order to give yourself financial freedom, you really have to protect a portion of your money. You got to protect at least 10 to 20 years of your retirement lifestyle. We typically like to shoot for at Secure Money Advisors. I like to be around that 15 to 20 year mark, meaning I'm going to carve off enough money from the plan to get enough cash flow, right? We want to create cash flow. It's our cash flow creation strategy, where we're going to create cash flow for 15 to 20 years. What does that mean to the client? That means that if we do have to keep money in the market, that means that bucket's a 15 to 20 year time horizon. Now, we all know, because we've been told for a very long time, that the number one thing that you need more than anything when you're investing money, you listen to any talking head on TV, they'll tell you that time is your friend.
Right.
Time is your friend. Well, that starts to become very contradicting when you retire, doesn't it? So how are you telling people that don't worry about it, just give it time, when these people need their money right now to live off of? So investing and retirement planning are two different strategies. So when we hear all these talking heads on TV saying, don't worry about it, just giving time, they're talking about your investments, not your retirement strategy. That's why we have 3 buckets at Secure Money Advisors, because we build a retirement strategy first, and then the investment strategy is long-term, which it needs to be.
So that 15 to 20 years you're talking about is in that middle bucket, the one that we don't risk the money. We know it's there.
Yes.
And the third bucket is the little money that you can feel comfortable. Like, I'll take $100 and go to the casino. If I lose it, oh well. If I make it, okay, great.
Yes.
We could pay the babysitter and we had some free drinks. It's kind, that's kind of how it is.
Yeah.
It's the same idea.
Correct. That you have time to recover, right?
Don't risk anything you cannot lose.
That's right. Cannot afford to lose. If you cannot afford to lose, you shouldn't be risking it. And there's a lot of times when we're looking at building out strategies where I want to show someone that you don't have to take this risk. Okay. Right. Some people like to have a little bit of their money in the market. Believe it or not, our engineers, our systems analysts, executives, and
you're toughest clients?
They're actually our easiest
Easiest.
clients.
Really?
Yes, they're our easiest clients. Most people struggle with the very analytical client, but see, analytical people want things very simple. If I tell them that this desk here is 10 feet long, they're going to come back and say, no, it's 10 feet 1 inches. Right? They want accuracy. So when there's too many unknown variables, any engineer knows if you're building a bridge and there's too many unknown variables, that's not a well-engineered plan. And so when you look at how the financial planning world has engineered most financial or retirement plans, there's still too many variables that you don't know how it's going to work out. It's not a perfect science, right? We're not talking about like the law of gravity here. What goes up must come down. Newton's law, all that kind of stuff. We're talking about probability of success. We're talking about statistics. The only way you can do that is to remove as much risk as we can possibly remove and get as many guarantees built into the plan as we can get.
I mean, think about this, Rebecca. How satisfying would it be if you're in retirement and you have a bucket laid out that's going to provide your cash flow over the next 15 to 20 years, even though you're experiencing some volatility? That's your long-term money. So you're not even really looking at that money.
It's amazing.
You're saying, yeah,
It really
I'm 40 years old with that money.
Right.
It's going up and down. That's okay because I have my income stream built out. It's safe. It's protected. And my lifestyle doesn't have to be changed or impacted just because the market changes on me.
And you've heard Wall Street, and I'm sure we've all been taught this, ride the roller coaster. You said, wait it out, give it time. Do you feel like it's just what we've been told? Because if everyone pulled their money out, the market really would crash?
Yeah, right. It's a possibility.
That's what it feels like.
Yeah, I mean, it's a possibility. We do know that if you are younger and you pull your money out, you have a higher probability of hurting yourself than helping yourself.
Gotcha.
Okay, but that's because time is still on your side.
Because you're 30 instead of 60.
Right. But when you are 60,
Okay.
it is, in my opinion, unresponsible for you to keep 100% of your money at risk.
Yeah.
There are just too many things that can go wrong, and we're seeing it right now. Right? Bonds are losing just as much money as stocks right now.
Wow.
Who would have ever thought the 20-year United States Treasury bond would be down almost 20%? No one would have ever thought that. And this is why making sure that you have guarantees built into your portfolio is so important. See, the number one insurance people need in retirement is income insurance. Right? We insure everything. We insure our health, we insure our houses, we insure our cars, but the one thing we never insure is our income.
Not our income.
Why in the world would you not insure your income?
No one's ever said that, Brian. I mean, I've never even heard that, and it is an extremely valid point.
Yes.
And how do you insure my income, sir?
Yeah, well, through the,
The
use,
3 buckets.
Yeah, through the use of annuities, and the annuity market has changed quite a bit. There's lots of different types of annuities out there. Now, look, as a fiduciary, think about it. I have to do what's in the client's best interest. So, am I there to just sell an annuity?
Of course not.
If I'm a fiduciary and I have to look at everything and say what is in the client's best interest, why am I, as a fiduciary, choosing that product when I am held to the highest regulation standard that there is? It's because that is the number one most important thing in retirement that somebody needs is to replace the paycheck. You're not going to replace the paycheck pulling money out of the stock market, all right? Because too many things need to go right in order for that to happen. Even if you own dividend stocks, right? I mean, dividend stocks, you're going to always get the dividend. Well, I shouldn't say always because dividends could be reduced, but they also could be increased. But you could own a dividend-paying stock and your account balance could be going down even though you're still receiving the dividend. So you still have money at risk even though you're receiving a dividend. So I just believe in guarantees and I believe in protecting a portion of the money. And that's why I wrote Right Track Your Retirement, because most people, when they come in, want to know whether or not they're on the right track. Let me ask you this. If you weren't on the right track, when would you want to know? Hopefully now. For the next 10 callers who call in right now, we are going to give you a complimentary Right Track Retirement Review where we're going to go over with you the 5 key areas of income, taxes, investments, healthcare, and legacy planning. But you got to do your part. You got to pick up the phone and call us today at 1-888-382-1298.
Absolutely. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
See, everybody can tell you how to invest your money. There's not a lot of people out there and a lot of firms that can teach you how to use your money. Most people will also tell you that they're scared. And the reason they're scared is because they're afraid of running out of money.
The last thing you want to do is have a really good job into your 60s, retire, and be looking for work again in your late 70s.
The average person might say, well, a good portfolio would be a good mix of stocks, bonds, and mutual funds. No, 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 no. A good portfolio is all designed around the 5 key areas: income, taxes, investments, healthcare, and legacy planning.
We're not just product pickers here. What we do best here is we build retirement plans.
9 out of 10 people, when they walk through the door, would ask us, we just want to know if we're on the right track. And I always say, if you're not on the right track, when would be a good time to know it? Probably now.
People, can actually see a vision once we start to really build out their plan.
This is about you. If you're not getting what you need, and you feel that when you walk out of the advisor's office, it's time to get a second opinion. And you can't get a second opinion from the person that gave you the first opinion. The difference at Secure Money Advisors, as a fiduciary firm, we help you manage the risk, build the income, and give you the retirement you dreamed of.
Welcome back to On the Money with Secure Money, and I love the word secure because that is what everyone wants. You're going to help people retire, right? You're going to have them come in the office. You have tell us about your staff. Who answers the phone? Who will they meet when they come in?
Oh, well, the whole team participates in answering the phone, but Ashley, who's at our front office, she's absolutely outstanding, and but we've got Ashley, we've got Cindy, we've got Danielle, we've got Trudy, we've got Maggie, we've got Michael. I mean, I can go on and on and on. And we're a really cohesive team, and we work so well together. When people do become clients of our office, they do meet everybody because you really get a team of people. Right? You're not just getting Neil, you're not just getting me, you're getting an entire team of people. Now, you may be just sitting with Neil, but behind the scenes, everybody is working together on that case. If you were to call into the office and Neil wasn't available, somebody's going to be able to help you.
Yeah.
With your case. And that's what people want today. How many people have we seen over the years where they say, I was with a big box firm and I was with this guy, and then I guess he left and they put me with a different guy, and they didn't even have the same philosophies.
Or they'd never even met them. That happened to us.
Yeah.
He kept calling my daughter Molly. I'm like, her name is Mary. Like, you don't even know, and you want me to get an insurance policy on her?
Right,
yeah. I think I hear that a lot. What happens if something happened to you, Neil? Where would I go? And I go, truth be told, if something did happen to me, nothing would change because our philosophy and our approach is the same throughout the company. Right. So because we've heard that so many times, well, I really liked so-and-so, but she left the company, and then I really liked this guy, but he started his own company, and then I got to a third person.
Yeah.
And we weren't on the same page at all. So with Secure Money Advisors, our approach is the same with everybody. And I think people appreciate that and know if something happened to one of us that they'd be in good hands.
And your company has grown, I know, substantially because there is great leadership. But not every client is right for you. I mean, you've said most people, of course, you want to give that second opinion. You'll give the complimentary advice.
Yeah.
But not everyone jives with you, and that's okay.
Yeah, absolutely. And, look, when people come in, they want to interview us, but we're interviewing them just as much as they're interviewing us because, we're very specific in what we do. We do want a certain clientele, and that has nothing to do with the size of their portfolio. It has to do with what their beliefs are around money.
And their goals.
And their goals, right. I mean, we've had people come in over the years that, are doing their own investing, and they're big risk takers, and I would never put a portfolio like that together and take responsibility for it. They're more than welcome to do it with their own money, but I'm not going to go to the roulette table and bet all that money just on black, or black 33.
Right.
So it's very important for us to really have a good synergy with the individual that we're interviewing to make sure that the things that they're concerned about that we can truly deliver. Look, we've got a 98% client retention rate for a reason. And I've been doing this for, going on almost 24 years. And so I've had clients with me for a very, very, very long time. They don't go anywhere. One, because of our client servicing that we do throughout the year. We send out weekly educational videos. We do quarterly market updates. We do multiple client events throughout the year. We're very engaged with the client not only that, but
That's
we're
awesome.
doing educational events 6 to 8 times a month that our clients can attend at any point in time. The one thing that people really love about our practice, though, is they get access to unlimited financial planning appointments throughout the course of the year at no additional cost to
Really?
them. So, you know, and it doesn't matter what's going on in their life, they have somebody that they can use as a financial sounding board.
Is there any question that's too small?
No, I mean, we get emails throughout the day, you know, different client questions where they want to know if they should pay off the house or.
Yeah. And you don't mind that.
credit
Should I
card
buy a
debt.
car? Should I get my daughter a car?
No, absolutely not. I mean, that's what we're here for. I mean, our goal is to provide you with financial advice for any
Across the
possibility.
board.
Across the board,
right.
right? And so we want those emails, we want those calls to take place because we're a big part of your plan and we want to make sure that we're guiding it in the right direction. So absolutely not.
Have you ever had one of those stories where someone was in such the wrong direction and you were able to turn it around? Let's talk about some of those happy stories.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you a good story that just took place last year. Was a single woman came in. She was actually divorced, and she was pretty much starting over at the age of 60.
Wow.
And you know, didn't have a whole lot saved, didn't receive a whole lot of money from her divorce, and so she's back in the workforce for the first time, and she's thinking to herself, I'm never going to be able to retire. And so she came in, and we showed her a way to take the money that she was earning from work and start putting that away and keep it relatively safe without a lot of risk. But what we also showed her was at her full retirement age, which for her case was 66, we were going to show her how to turn her Social Security on and start utilizing that to accelerate the amount of money that she had in her retirement accounts. Because at 66, or your full retirement age, Social Security allows you to turn your Social Security on, and they don't penalize you for taking it. So now we're actually using the Social Security to save for retirement.
And then it compounds.
It compounds, and by the time that we reached 70, which was just 10 years,
Yeah.
we had close to $800,000 accumulated, and we were able to get her the income that she needed from that, plus her Social Security to retire.
So she loves you.
Oh, yeah, we have boxes of tissues everywhere in our office for that reason, because for the first time, people are really realizing that things are a possibility, and you know that they're not on a dead end road, and that we can get them on the right track very easily.
It is very mystical. I mean, honestly, like I've said before, we're not taught this in school, and you are experts on this. So you understand that when people come in, it is intimidating. Even though you're very nice guys, they don't want to pull off that Band-Aid and look.
Sure.
Right.
But it can be painless.
Yeah, they're afraid of being criticized.
Yeah.
They're afraid of being criticized, and I think that our industry
right.
has done a really good job in criticizing people.
Yeah, or making you feel
why
stupid.
Why have you done this? What did you
Right.
buy this for? How long have you had that? Well,
Yeah.
why have you still been working with him or her? You know, and
Right.
that's not how we operate. We're there to say, okay, where are we at, and where do we need to go? And what changes need to be made? And in our first process, we've got a roadmap that we follow with each individual new potential client. And really, at first, we're just listening and understanding and getting to understand what their goals and concerns are. Then what we're going to do is we're going to analyze everything. We're going to analyze it. We're going to bring them back. And after we analyze everything, we are now going to educate. Here's where you are. This is why you're where you're at, right? And this is where you need to go in order to get to where you want to go, right? And that's when we give them turn-by-turn directions. We give them a map of how to get from point A to point B.
But you still do it. It's not like they have to do it.
And we hold their hand on every single turn.
Yeah.
And when they say, yes, we'd like to hire you, my team implements everything for them. They actually move all the money from where it's at over to where it needs to go. All the client has to do is say, yes, we'd like to hire you, and we take care of everything else.
I just experienced that last week. Yeah, I mean, you know, a woman came up from West Virginia. They lived in a small town. Went to the local advisor, and you know, she was very nervous coming in. You know, she didn't want to divulge all that information. But by the end, she just couldn't be more thankful for what we did for her in that meeting, and kind of the peace of mind. As she's leaving, she said, "We're gonna switch to you." I didn't even show her anything, right? It just the
so
approach
sweet.
made her more comfortable.
Yeah, and that's all what being on the right track is, folks. I mean, and I want to make sure that you're on the right track. And if you'd like to know if you are, call us today at 1-888-382-1298 and schedule a complimentary, no obligation, right track retirement review where we can give you peace of mind and clarity, help you understand where you are and where you need to go, the changes that you might need to be able to make. And if you are on the right track, wouldn't it be great to know that? If you'd like to schedule that right track retirement review, call 1-888-382-1298.
Fantastic. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
As a good saver, you've been putting away money during your working years. Studies find that the biggest fear of retirees is running out of money. Market volatility isn't just the downward movement of stock prices, it's the size and frequency of change. The more dramatic the ups and downs, the higher the volatility. This can put savers who are newly retired or a few years away from being retired at greater risk. Today's generation of retirees is not receiving traditional pensions as our parents or grandparents did. Instead, we have retirement accounts such as 401ks or 403bs. These accounts typically expose your money to market risk. The last thing you want right before retirement is to lose a portion of the money you need for income. But how do you turn these accounts into a retirement income? Is it safe to keep all your retirement money sitting in the stock market? The last thing you want is to lose a portion of the money you need for income due to market loss. By working with a financial professional, you can learn how to turn a portion of your savings into an income stream for life and income for the life of your spouse if you're married. We all have moments in our lives when we wish we had taken action sooner. Don't let procrastination reign on your retirement parade. Act now before it's too late. Please call our office to set up your no-cost, no-obligation retirement income review today.
Welcome back to On the Money with Secure Money. Someone asked, is it important to always have your spouse present in the meetings?
I say yes, absolutely.
For those men out there that think you're the decision maker, let me make it very clear to you, you're not.
Happy wife, happy life.
That's 100% guaranteed.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But there's a lot of information that, because you also want to find out what their dreams are. They may say, wow, honey, we never talked. I didn't even know you wanted to buy a boat. I didn't even know you wanted
to. Well, Rebecca, you are 100% right, because we have marriage counseling right there at the conference room table.
Yes.
You know, because for the first time they're talking about things they haven't talked about. I didn't know you wanted retirement that way. I didn't know you wanted to retire soon. So they're discussing these things sometimes for the very first time.
That's neat.
And what we'll hear too is, you know, the husband will say we need $3,000 a month net income, where his spouse is the bill payer, and she says we need $6,000 a month. So we're building a plan based off of $3,000 net income, because maybe she didn't come to the first meeting, and so we're way off, right? So we want both parties there to understand the entire situation, kind of hear both goals and dreams of the retirement, to make sure that we're building out the proper approach for sure.
So, you know, it's kind of a little, you know, when you do as many meetings as we do, because we do about, 30 to 40 meetings a week at our office.
Wow.
We're a very, very busy office. You wouldn't think when you walk through the door, because we're very efficient, right? Mm-hmm. But if we do have somebody that comes by themselves, which we don't like, we really don't encourage that, because it's really not a good use of time. But we'll take bets, and we'll say, if he's not the CFO of the family, right? If he's not the CFO, we'll do a little bit of conversation, and he'll say, well, yeah, we need $3,000 a month, and I'll say, how much do you think he's off by, Neil? Neil will be like, I bet she's off by at least 75%.
I bet you $1.
And I'm telling you, they're always off.
That's so funny.
The person that pays the bills in the family,
that's right,
is the one that has the most stress and anxiety about retirement.
Yeah.
Right.
The one that doesn't have to worry about paying the bills and doesn't see the money going out, they think retirement's just the easiest darn thing in the world, okay? And they have no worries in the world. One of the things that we've done really well, and for some reason we see this quite a bit, that the female is actually the bill payer, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes, that's me in our family.
Right? A lot of people say he wouldn't know what to do.
See, but we like it this way, because if we shop, or it's $100 to get your nails done, they don't. So that's just the truth. It's worth it. We'll do the job.
That's right. But you're the one that's going to feel the most pressure about retirement, because you're going to be the one that has to figure out how is all this going to be paid, because he might not see everything that actually goes out, or he definitely doesn't feel the pain of having to make those payments. So
you joke about the POS, the pile of stuff.
Yes.
So you don't have to dig through all of your cabinets and look for your financial plan, your last one, and all of your stubs. You don't need that for the first meeting, right?
No. Yeah. You bring as much as you can.
Yeah, we're just talking basic numbers, but more importantly, we're talking about what's concerning you. Why'd you drive up to the office to sit down and meet with us? What is it about your plan that you feel is not going to work that you need remedy on? And so our job is just to understand you in that first meeting, understand the situation. We'll talk basic numbers. If we decide that we want to go to a subsequent appointment, that's when we'll start to want the statements and things like that. So yeah, it's a pressure-free first meeting for sure.
That's really important.
Yeah, and that's what the Right Track Retirement Review is all about. I mean, it's really about putting you back in a position of strength, giving you the clarity and confidence and peace of mind that you deserve. And really, it's all about providing you with financial freedom. When I wrote Right Track Your Retirement, it was really created because 90% of the time that Neil and the team and I would sit down with people, when we'd ask them, what is it that you'd like to find out today, they'd say, we'd like to know if we're on the right track. And so most people just don't know whether or not they're on the right track. And there are very specific things that we look for to help you determine whether or not you're doing the right things or not, or you're moving in the right direction. And really, number one, it all starts with getting that review. So if you call 1-888-382-1298, you're going to get a complimentary, no obligation, Right Track Retirement Review. There's no pressure to do any business with us. We're there to interview you, for you to interview us, get an idea of what our philosophies are, but you're also going to get a copy of my Right Track Retirement book. In this book, I lay out all of what we do and how we approach it and what our philosophy is. And you'll find, as most people do, that this is a very simple and easy to understand plan. And the simpler it is, the more powerful it is. We all know that if you keep it simple, things just go a heck of a lot smoother. I want to encourage each and every one of you that if you've won the game, you don't have to keep playing it. You don't have to continue to roll the dice. And if you are on the right track, take advantage of the Right Track Retirement Review, because if you weren't, when would you want to know? Call 1-888-382-1298 and schedule your Right Track Retirement meeting today.
Get a second opinion, and hopefully everyone watching right now is on the right track. But it would be nice to even have that confirmed, right?
Yeah, so I think it's always important to have it confirmed. I mean, it's the most important thing that we all would want. What if you could retire, 5 years earlier than what you thought?
Right.
Exactly.
Because we've done that many times.
He told me that happens.
Yeah,
Absolutely,
1,400 clients, you learn a lot.
Absolutely.
Right.
So,
Well, we're already out of time. Once again, be sure to go online, watch all of these shows, get all the free educational advice that these guys were talking about, and we'll see you next week for On the Money with Secure Money. Just keeping that money in your pocketbook. Stay with us. I'm sorry. See you next week.